Yes, again, welcome. So here uh, we have Newton's law of viscosity, that shear stress is mu du upon dy, right? So Newton's law of viscosity states that the shear force to be applied for deformation rate of du upon dy over an area A. So remember this equation, tau is equal to u upon y, or tau is equal to mu du upon dy. This is called as Newton's law of viscosity. Now, here in this, mu is dynamic viscosity. So same thing here. This is the first type of viscosity, the dynamic viscosity, denoted as mu. It is defined as the shear stress required per unit rate of deformation, that is du upon dy. So from this previous equation, so what will be mu is equal to? So mu is nothing but it is shear stress upon du by dy. So same thing here, it is defined as shear stress. So numerator is shear stress required per unit, so divided by rate of deformation du upon dy. So shear stress per unit rate of deformation is called as dynamic viscosity. So unit of dynamic viscosity, so the older units, those are older units, that is CGS unit is poise. So one poise is 1/10 Newton second per meter square, or it is called as 0.1 Newton second per meter square, and 1 centipoise is 0.01 Newton second per meter square. So Newton second per meter square is SI unit, and this poise and centipoise, those are CGS units, right? So remember this conversion, that 1 poise is 1/10 Newton second per meter square, or in other words we can say that 10 poise is 1 Newton second per meter square. So 10 poise, 10 poise is 1 Newton second per meter square. So this is dynamic viscosity. Mu is equal to tau du upon dy. Then second is kinematic viscosity. First was dynamic, this is kinematic viscosity, denoted as nu. It is nu. So it is ratio of dynamic viscosity to mass density. It is simple. Nu is equal to mu upon rho. Rho is mass density. So mu upon rho is kinematic viscosity. So the unit of kinematic viscosity is simple, centimeter square per second or meter square per second. So here Stoke is CGS unit again, one stroke is 1 centimeter square per second is equal to 10 raised to minus 4 meter square per second. So kinematic viscosity. So two viscosities, dynamic viscosity and kinematic viscosity. So what is the difference? So dynamic viscosity is shear stress upon du upon dy. Therefore its unit will be Newton's second per meter square, and kinematic viscosity is ratio of dynamic viscosity to mass density. So its unit is centimeter square per second or meter square per second, right? So note down these two viscosities, dynamic viscosity and kinematic viscosity. Now this is one of the experimental conclusion. We have our first experiment, laboratory experiment, to see the viscosity of given fluid. We have to study the viscosity of given fluid, and secondly we have to study the variation of viscosity with temperature. So what will going to happen to the viscosity of given fluid when we increase the temperature? So suppose there is one particular oil, or we can say we can take engine oil, and we have to find the viscosity of that engine oil with one device called as viscometer, red wood viscometer. So with that viscometer we can measure the viscosity of given fluid, basically liquids, all liquids, any liquid we can find the viscosity using that red wood viscometer. For gases also there are another type of viscometers, but mainly for liquids the red hood viscometer we can use easily. Now what is this viscosity variation with temperature? So x-axis denotes the temperature. So as the temperature increases, and on y-axis it is the viscosity. It may be dynamic or it may be kinematic. So now in case of, first thing, in case of liquid, we say that it is a falling curve, falling graph. So what that graph denotes? That in case of liquids the viscosity decreases as you increase the temperature, right? So just now see this curve, liquid, for liquid, for example oil. We have engine oil in our automobile, in our vehicles. So in that engine there are mechanical rotating parts, rotary parts, movement of rotary parts. It may be piston, etc., etc. There are many parts in the engine. So because of the movement, because of the friction, rotating movement, so the temperature in that engine will increase. So it may be more than 100 degrees Celsius up to 200 degrees Celsius, right? So with that increase in temperature, so we can see that the viscosity will decrease, and therefore whenever we are doing the servicing of the bike, we have to replace the Ajay Rathod, please mute yourself. Okay. So in case of engine oil, so as the temperature in the engine increases, the viscosity will decrease. So after servicing, we have to change that oil. So this is the important application of that viscosity and the temperature. So as the liquid, in case of liquids, so as the temperature increases, the viscosity decreases, but it is in opposite for gases. So here the gases, the viscosity will increase as the temperature increases, because it is the behavior of the molecules in case of liquid and in case of gases. In case of liquid, when the temperature will increase, the molecules separate from each other. And when the molecules get separated, the bond will be less. And viscosity is nothing but it is the resistance. Whenever the bond between the molecules in case of liquid decreases, so certainly the resistance will decrease, and because of that decrease in resistance, viscosity also decrease. Now what will be in case of gases? So that bond, increase in temperature, that bond will be more, and that bond will be more is certainly nothing but resistance will be more, and therefore the viscosity is another word for resistance. So therefore the resistance will increase and the viscosity will increase. So two opposite cases, of viscosity and variation with temperature. So only we will be studying in our academics liquid change, the liquid gases, the viscosity and the temperature. So we have to draw this graph during our practical session, experimental session. We have to increase the temperature for the given fluid, for the given oil, and we have to find what will be the viscosity. So you will be getting such type of curve, falling curve. So as you will increase the temperature, the viscosity will decrease. So this is the variation of viscosity with temperature. Now the next property is called as compressibility. Now compressibility means it is the measure to note down the density change. That means whenever you compress any liquid, so here the example is shown, whenever you compress a liquid, so slightly the density will change, very slightly. But when you compress a gas, the density will be on higher side, the density change will be on higher side. So this is compressibility. So it is the measure of change in density produced by the fluid by specific pressure change. So because of the pressure, when you apply a pressure, so the liquid compress, very slightly it will compress. But in case of gas, it will compress more. Why? The particles, the molecules are very wider each other. The distance between the molecules is large and therefore the gases can compress. But in case of liquid, we can't compress, right? So this is the basic difference between the compressibility property. So the gases are compressible gases. We can compress gas, but not the liquid part. So therefore, the gases are generally highly compressible, whereas liquids are incompressible. So liquid, it is termed as incompressible part, whereas gases, those are compressible part. Now we have example of LPG cylinder, liquefied petroleum gas, right? The full form of LPG is liquefied petroleum gas. So in that LPG cylinder, so the gas under pressure, the liquid gas is filled under pressure, and when it will come to the burner, it becomes gas. So liquid is filled in that cylinder under pressure, until the burner it will come as a gas part. So it is called as a liquefied petroleum gas. Then the next property, important property, is nothing but cohesion and adhesion. We have also many times heard this word cohesion and adhesion. So simple, in this simple and sketch we can see that cohesion is nothing but the attraction. It is the attraction between similar molecules. So two similar water molecules, that attraction is cohesion, and two different molecules, that attraction is adhesion. So we have Fevicol. So what the Fevicol do? So Fevicol will stick to two different molecules. Suppose the wood and suppose the Sanmica sheet. So with the help of Fevicol, we can stick two different materials, that is adhesive. So Fevicol is called as adhesive. And two same molecules, when they attract with each other, that is called as cohesion. So this is the simple cohesion and adhesion. So cohesion is defined as the mutual attraction between similar molecules, right? And adhesion is nothing but attraction between different molecules, right? So this cohesion and adhesion is essential to study the further part, that is called as the surface tension. So after cohesion and adhesion, we have surface tension. Now this is very important. Now we will be studying the surface tension with respect to these three molecules. These three are molecules. So this molecule is surrounded by same molecules from all the direction. Similarly, this molecule is also surrounded by same molecules from all direction, but this surface molecule, this is on surface, it is only surrounded from bottom by same molecules, but on top it is another fluid, it is air. So air and suppose water. So this is called as the interface or surface. So here above is air molecule, below is water molecule. So therefore, whenever two different molecules attract each other, it is called as a adhesion, and is cohesion is present inside those molecules which are inside in that particular liquid, right? Now, what is surface tension? Surface tension, as per the definition, is nothing but it is a tension. Tension is nothing but tensile force on surface. So this is a surface, liquid surface. So on this surface, so there is one tensile force present. It is having tensile, in tensile nature. Now, how this is tensile force? Because of the surface molecules, these are surface molecules. So the force F is necessary force which will pull the surface molecule in downward direction, right? And a resultant will be a tensile force. So all the surface molecules which are on the surface, those are surface molecules. So these surface molecules, they are having always a pull, and a resultant is a tensile. So therefore, the surface molecule act as a film. It will act as a thin film which is in a tensile form. So because of that tensile nature, a small tension will be developed on the surface. That is called as a surface tension. Now this surface tension is nothing but it is measured in Newton per meter. Why Newton per meter? Newton is force, that is tensile force, per meter is surface. So it is on the surface, so therefore it is per meter. So therefore unit of surface tension will be Newton per meter. So force in Newton required to break a film per meter length. It is the force per unit length of surface denoted by sigma. Now this surface tension is denoted as sigma. Now for water, as it is a standard fluid, so at 20 degrees Celsius, this surface tension is 0.0728 Newton per meter.
पूर्ण करा स्क्रीन सर.
Hello? So the surface tension of water at 20 degrees Celsius is about 0.0728 Newton per meter. Now at 20 degrees Celsius means this is normal temperature. As the temperature will increase, so what will happen to this film? So the temperature will increase, therefore the molecules get separated, and therefore this film will break, and therefore the tension will be less. So as the temperature increases, surface tension decreases. It is vice versa. As increase in temperature, the surface tension value decreases. So at normal 20 degrees Celsius, this is around 0.0728 Newton per meter. Force per unit length, it is Newton per meter. Now, just what are the applications of this surface tension? As you can see, the first application is related with the raindrops or dewdrops. So those are collected on the leaves. So in morning or in, now it's a rainy season, you can see the nature, how it is very clever and very interesting part. Those dewdrops or raindrops will be collected on the leaves. So those are having a spherical natural shape. So because of this surface tension, the drops are having a spherical shape. So the surface tension will be acting on those drops from all the directions. So this is the effect of surface tension, that those drops will be collected on the leaves having spherical shape, right? Then the second, again interesting application of surface tension is, as it is a film, as there is a tensile force on the surface, so some small insects, they can walk on this surface, liquid surface easily, because it is a tensile in nature, it is having one thin film. So those insects can walk without breaking the film. That is the second natural example, interesting example. Then the third, again interesting example is, when you float a needle on the surface, so it will deflect and it will show the north-south direction because of the magnetic pole, north and south. So a needle can point you what is the north and south direction, right? So this is a use of needle that will be floating on water surface pointing towards north and south. And another is, in childhood days we will be using this soap bubble. It is a fun purpose, right? So these soap bubbles are nothing but those are formation because of the surface tension. So soap bubble are hollow from inside, not just like these raindrops. Raindrops are solid, right? But the soap bubble is hollow from inside. So surface tension will be acting on this soap bubble also, and because of that surface tension, those are spherical, those are round in nature. So all these are different examples of surface tension, right? So now because of this surface tension, we have to particularly deal with this particular derivations. There are small derivations. Just a while. Yes. So small derivation. Now what is the title of the derivation? It is the pressure required, or it is the pressure inside a liquid droplet. We have seen the application. So raindrops are nothing but those are spherical in nature, solid part. So now what will be the surface tension or pressure inside a liquid droplet? So just see this sketch that the water droplet is spherical, solid part. We assume that, or we have cut that droplet into two parts, two halves. So we'll analyze one half only, for first half only. So if you cut that droplet, it will be half portion. So on this solid part, pressure will be exerted, right? It is a solid part. So pressure, atmospheric pressure, so whatever the atmosphere, whatever gases are present in the atmosphere, those exert pressure on those raindrops, right? So that is pressure P. So that pressure will be acting on this surface, right? So what will be area? It will be, if d is the diameter, so area will be pi by 4 d square of a circular section, so surface, right? Now surface tension will be acting on the surface. So what is the surface here? So this is the outer part of that droplet. So from this outer part, the surface tension will be acting. So surface tension is sigma. So ये जे outer part है, circumference है, त्याच्यावरती surface tension will be acting, right? So this surface tension acting on the circumference, and the pressure is acting on the surface area. This is important thing. So now, as liquid droplet is a solid sphere, let it is cut into two halves as shown in the figure. So considering the pressure forces P and surface tension acting on the one half only. So pressure and the surface tension, two forces we are considering. Let D be the diameter or R be the radius. So therefore the intensity of pressure, if it is small p, let the pressure intensity be small p. This capital P is pressure force and small p is intensity of pressure. This is different. So acting over a surface area A. So whatever is the area is capital A. So surface tension sigma, it is denoted as sigma, acting over the circumference is pi d. So this is pi d, circumference is pi d, and area is pi by 4 d square. So pressure where it is acting? So pressure is acting on this surface area. So what will be the pressure force? It is pressure intensity multiplied by area, surface area. So this capital P is equal to small p, that is intensity multiplied by surface area, that is pi by 4 d square, right? Then surface tension force. So surface tension force is nothing but surface tension multiplied by circumference. So surface tension force is suppose T, capital T. So surface tension into circumference. So surface tension is sigma and circumference का असेल for circular it is pi d, right? So circumference pi d. So sigma into pi d. Now to be in equilibrium, हे दोन्ही forces we have to equate, pressure force P आणि surface tension T. right? So what we get, left hand side is P pi by 4 d square is equal to sigma pi into d. So some terms will get cancelled, pi gets cancelled and d gets cancelled. So now what is remaining? Therefore, the pressure inside a droplet. So this is droplet, liquid droplet. So what will be the pressure? Pressure is 4 sigma upon d. Now remember this equation. So pressure inside a droplet is given by 4 sigma upon d, or d च्या ठिकाणी जर आपण radius टाकलं, so d is nothing but double radius. So it becomes now 2 sigma upon r. So pressure for droplet will be 4 sigma upon d or 2 sigma upon r if r is the radius, right? So this is a simple small derivation to find what is the pressure inside a liquid droplet. So we can find what is the pressure, or we can find what is the surface tension. So anything can be known by this equation. So remember this equation, pressure inside a liquid droplet is 4 sigma upon d or 2 sigma upon r. Now same derivation, the second derivation is related with the soap bubble. That is our second derivation. So what is soap bubble? So it is a hollow sphere. So as it is a hollow, so two thin layers exist. So one outer and one inner. Two thin layers are there, right? So let it again cut into two halves. So that hollow sphere is cut into two halves, and we will be analyzing only one half. Now what is that one half? Now considering the pressure P and surface tension acting on one half only, let d be the diameter, r be the radius, P as the intensity of pressure acting over surface area, surface tension sigma. Now remember this is a hollow portion. Now because of hollow portion, so here the surface tension, as in previous case the surface tension was acting on the circumference, right, on the outer part. As it is a solid portion, so only one surface was present, right, in case of droplet. But in case of soap bubble, now two surfaces are present, inside and outside. Two layers are present, right? So therefore the surface tension acting here is 2 circumference, that is here there is 2 pi d. This is the difference between the soap bubble and the droplet. So the first pressure force remains same, it is acting over the surface area pi by 4 square, but the surface tension is different here, right? So surface tension will be acting on two circumferences. So surface tension multiplied by 2 into circumference. So it is 2 sigma pi d. So equating these two forces, so what we get? The pressure inside a bubble will be 8 sigma upon d or 4 sigma upon r. Right? So previously, what was the equation? It is 4 sigma upon d. Now here it is 8 sigma upon d. Double झालं, right? So 2 sigma upon r होता, इथे 4 sigma upon r, because there are two surfaces. Why? It is a hollow sphere. So this is the basic difference between a solid sphere and a hollow sphere. So for soap bubble, the pressure will be double because there are two layers. Then the third is again interesting, pressure inside a jet. Jet is nothing but it is the water coming out from, suppose, tap, right, or a pipe, simple pipe, where there is a small cross-sectional area, there is a jet, formation of jet. So that jet is a cylindrical in nature, right? So cylinder आलं म्हणजे त्याला length आली. So L is the length. Again it is cut into two half, right? Now pressure P, pressure force P and surface tension is acting on one half. आता जो cylinder है that is cut into two half. So this is one half present here. Now it is a cylinder, right? So for cylinder, that is important. right? So L is that length of cylinder, D is the diameter for that cylinder. So this is length.
सर स्क्रीन दिसत नाही.
Yes. Now it is visible.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Sir, my sir.
Yes, now.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Disala.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Disala, sir.
Okay. Mute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Now here the pressure inside a liquid jet. So the jet is a cylinder. We have cut that jet into two half, where L is the length of that jet, D is the diameter. So now here the surface area will be a rectangular part, as it is highlighted here. So the pressure will be acting on this highlighted portion, that is rectangular portion, and the surface tension will be acting on the surface. So here surface will be this length. So over this two length, the surface tension will be acting. So this is the difference in this pressure inside a liquid jet. So now what will be the pressure force? So intensity of pressure multiplied by area. So P is the intensity of pressure and the area काय होईल? Rectangular area. So rectangular area is L into D. So P L into D is the pressure force. The surface tension is surface tension into surface tension कुठे act होतं? Length वरती act होतं इथे. So two lengths are there, therefore 2L. So sigma into 2L is the surface tension force. So now equating these two forces, PLD is equal to 2L upon 2L into sigma. So L gets cancelled. Therefore now what is remaining, the final part? The pressure inside a jet is 2 sigma upon D or sigma upon R. Now this is the basic pressures. We have seen the three pressures. For droplet, pressure is 2 sigma upon R. For soap bubble, it is 4 sigma upon R. And for jet, it is only sigma upon R. Right? So simple three derivations we have seen. For 2 marks, it may be asked, or 3 marks. Any one derivation of these three kind. So it may be a liquid droplet, it may be a soap bubble, or it may be the jet. Right? So easy derivations, I will circulate this PPT for your reference after the lecture ends. Now the next property is the capillarity part. What is capillarity? Already we have seen in physics. So capillarity and its applications, right?
Yes.
It is the phenomena of rise and fall of liquid, right? So एक container घेतलं आणि त्याच्यामध्ये एक small diameter glass tube if it is inserted. So very small diameter glass tube if it is inserted. So in some cases the liquid will rise in that glass tube with respect to the level in the container, right? He level container मध्ये he level आहे, but the level in that glass tube is this. So there is a rise, right? So rise in case of water. जर water असेल तर त्या केस मध्ये rise होईल. So this H is capillarity. So capillarity is nothing but it is rise or fall. It is measured either rise or it may be measured either fall. So fall in case of mercury, right? So from with respect to the level in the container, in the beaker, so that level in the glass tube will fall. So this difference is H, that is capillarity. So this capillarity is because of again cohesion and adhesion. Now where it will be cohesion and where it will be the adhesion. Now simple hai.
Cohesive liquids and adhesive.
So here it is a glass molecule and water molecule. So whenever there are different molecules, cohesion असेल की adhesion असेल, so there will be adhesion. So the glass molecules and the water molecules stick to each other. There is attraction, and therefore when they attract each other, there is a rise. So the molecules of glass and water, they have a bonding, आणि बॉन्डिंग असल्यामुळे दॅट विल राईज. सो दॅट H इज दी कॅपिलॅरिटी इन केस ऑफ वॉटर. नाव मर्क्युरी मध्ये काय असेल, मर्क्युरी मध्ये द कोहेजन दॅट इज अट्रॅक्शन बिटवीन सेम मॉलिक्युल्स. मर्क्युरीचे जे मॉलिक्युल्स आहेत त्याच्यामध्ये कोहेजन जास्त आहे. सो देअरफॉर दोज मॉलिक्युल्स आर द बॉन्डिंग इज मोर आणि देअरफॉर दे विल नॉट स्टिक टू ग्लास. आपण बघतो थर्मामीटर असतो, देर इज अ थर्मामीटर अँड इन दॅट थर्मामीटर देर इज मर्क्युरी, राईट. सो व्हॉट इज यूज ऑफ थर्मामीटर? टू चेक द टेम्परेचर. So the mercury, as the temperature increase, the mercury will rise. So that mercury will not stick to the glass inside of that thermometer. Thermometer is a glass material. So therefore the mercury, the cohesion is more, therefore mercury will not stick to the glass surface, right? And therefore the mercury is used in the thermometer to measure the temperature as it is having more cohesion. जर वॉटर असतं तर त्या ठिकाणी वॉटर इट विल स्टिक, इट विल नॉट गिव्ह द करेक्ट टेम्परेचर. सो देअरफॉर द मर्क्युरी वी आर युझिंग टू फाइंड द टेम्परेचर और प्रेशर. सो वी हॅव टू note down the pressure. In the next unit we will see the pressures and its measurement. So just now here note down that the in case of water adhesion is more, so adhesion is greater than cohesion, and in case of mercury cohesion is more, that is adhesion is less than cohesion. So therefore the liquid stays away from the surface, glass surface. So this is the capillarity, and this capillarity is denoted as H, and H is nothing but it is height. Rise, it may be rise or it may be fall. So unit will be in centimeter, mm, or maybe in meter also. So this capillarity is nothing but it is the rise or fall of liquid in the capillary tube, right? So we'll derive the equation of capillarity. So capillarity, or in the next lecture, next part we will see, because this is a very important topic, capillarity, and further the further topics are also very important. So the now time is limiting, therefore we will end today with this aspect. So we have what we have seen the different properties of fluid, right? I will circulate this particular PPT for your reference. So we have seen these different properties: mass density, specific weight, specific volume, relative density, viscosity, compressibility, cohesion, adhesion, surface tension, and capillarity. So these two things we'll discuss in the next lecture, right? So till then we'll stop here. Okay, so thank you. You can circulate your attendance on the WhatsApp group. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.